I have multiple students become multi-millionaires by using my Ascension architecture model. And this model I've explained to my new students in a coaching call, and I've answered a couple of questions for them on how to approach clients, how to be better at sales, and all this stuff. Well, simply put, I have this coaching call ready that I'm just gonna drop in here for free so you can get a lot of value out of it. And if you're wondering what this Ascension architecture model is that has made to multimillionaires, then, well, this video is gonna be the great video for you because I'm basically just explaining the full thing. Anyway, enjoy, watch it, and before I forget, some people don't really like it because I'm quite authentic and I'm saying a lot of things quite bluntly. So sorry in that case. Fuck you if you don't like it. Just don't watch my videos. If you're literally so stuck up on the fact that you're stuck in a 9 to 5 and you don't want to change it, just don't watch, all right? Just don't watch. If you do want to change your life because you are stuck in a 9 to 5 or you just want simply some change by being able to travel the world and do whatever you want, then go for it. And by the way, yes, I am on my tennis court, and yes, I am shoeless. How much of you guys are still working a 9 to 5 job? Say me. Muna said me. Rachel said me. Jeff said me. Delana said me. Well, sorry to break it to you guys are gay. Yes, you guys are very gay. Because the thing of a 9 to 5 job is very simple. You're simply doing one thing very importantly, and that is trading in your time for money. What do I mean by that? We have 24 hours in a day. Of those 24 hours, what is happening? You're swapping it for an hourly wage. That hourly wage that you're swapping in, you only can get X amount. So you're going to be capped at some point. But the second you go into closing, now you will get paid for your results. So it doesn't matter how much time you're spending on whatever. You're uncapped. But a lot of people have the next concern. Rabin, I want to be a good closer. I want to live my life in the best possible way possible, but I don't have any experience. How is any company going to hire me and give me their warm leads that they've paid money for to me? I don't have this experience. How are they going to trust me if I can't show my value to these people? Well, I would recommend everybody to start triaging, setting, cold calling. Andy, he's down here. Florian, actually, too. Florian was a recruiter. He was already making $5K a month. Selena and Dion, who are both here, too, also started as recruiters. And recruiting, the good thing about that is that you're already cold calling. You're already getting paid based off results that you deliver. The only issue of doing stuff like that is that you learn all of the steps beyond, but you don't get paid for the amount of effort that you put in. Like the recruiters kind of fuck you in the ass. But if you go to a company that is established and start cold calling for them, or you start appointment setting for them, for instance, as Leon, or as Andy started, where he was just starting the cold call for a high ticket offer, these leads, very importantly, have not cost them any money. They've already wasted the money on that. If you think about how marketing works, is that companies like my company, and we are running ads constantly, we're paying money to get people qualified. And those qualified people that we're paying for, we want to give to our best closers. Because I paid $100 to get this person on a call to buy my coaching. So I'm not going to give it to an inexperienced person, right? I want to give that to a person that has experience. So if you don't have that leverage, then why would I give it to you? Everybody in this game is super, super lazy. And if you're lazy, what happens is you won't get the things that you want in life. You will get anything in life you want if you add value to the people that need it and deserve it. Very easy. The more value you deliver, the more money you'll make. But you always have to leverage your own value because you cannot give value that you don't have. I would rather do the shittiest form of closing for an established company that is doing 500,000 US a month than do high ticket closing for a company that's doing 20. Because that company that's doing 20 doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They're giving me leads and I will end up never making as much money as I would doing appointment setting for a company that's making 500K. And at the same time, the stuff that I teach you is reflecting, knowing how the business works, knowing where to add more value, knowing how to close leads better. So the better I learn it, the more I know how to implement on the next level. If I know how to close these cold leads, now I know how to leverage that into closing warm leads. If I can make an uninterested person very interested, I can make an interested person even pay me more. And that's how this model looks. Right? We don't want to be gay, simply put. We all want to be, just kidding. If you are gay, it's fine. It's just a joke, by the way. I don't know who's gay, but just not to get sued. You want to start making money uncapped. Time is capped. Results are uncapped. The more results you can deliver, the more money you can make. Let me give you a couple of examples of these people and how they did it. Flo actually is with me somewhere here in this house. With a recruitment job, was already cold calling. He did a course, ended up making $1,000 straight with that course. Something went wrong there. You think, cold calling, you go to a company, you make $1,000. The reason why he failed was because he didn't go to an established company. If you don't go to an established company, then you end up not being able to give value because there's no value to give there. So then he started figuring out how to be top 1% closer. He went to an established company that had everything in place, showed them why he was the best, and he made 10K in his first month and 15K later. Now, this is not where he stopped. Once again, if you want to make it in life, you got to work hard. You got to search for places to be more of value. You can either go find a new place, or you can either go and find ways to solve problems within a company. And if you reflect on that, you can become a growth specialist. See what funnels to make. For instance, Kelvin is here. Kelvin, within my company, is looking at how he can improve systems so that everybody knows more leads to call and how to follow them up better. And that's valuable, so I'm giving him a base salary extra on top. If what I'm seeing that he builds is making more money, he gets a percentage. Because he's showing that he wants to be more value. I'm seeing that he's a long-term investment, so of course I will pay him more money. If we go to Leon is a perfect example. It's Selena's little brother, by the way. Wait, little, right? It's your little brother, or not? I think Selena's gone. Do you guys still hear me?
Oh, no, I'm here. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Leon was living an NPC life. Normal, I think he was at a dance school. I don't even know if this is accurate with how much money he made. He started appointment setting. And suddenly he realized that appointment setting is free. You don't have to be at the place. You can go anywhere. He didn't have any experience. So he just started calling leads that were interested on becoming on appointments to a school. Then he started also doing appointment setting on the DMs. And he made 3 to 5K just doing that. He saw how to be valuable. And he's like, all right, cool. Let me try to build funnels and flows for this business. He started researching everything around it. And now suddenly he started making 10K a month because he was adding value to different types of companies. He was managing and making better flow for the appointment setters. He did everything in his power in order to make that company run better. But here's the crux. Because he's learning all of those abilities and reflecting within those businesses, he knows how to be of more value, and people are begging him to work for them. So now he's a growth specialist and edging towards the 20 grand a month. Why? Because he's looking, how can I make a company make more money? And because he's reflecting on that and trying to learn that, you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to make more money. And after this, because he's doing that for multiple companies, he knows, all right, these are the steps that I have to make myself. I can start becoming an entrepreneur. I can use everything that I've learned all the way down here and start making even bigger numbers up there. And Andy is the best example. For people that don't know him, he's an old student of mine, right? Cold calling, 3K a month. He started doing high ticket sales, bought his first car. Then he became a top 1% closer, managed and looked at where the company needed more, started making 12 grand. And he used all of that to make his own high ticket sales course. And now he's making over 300K on the Dutch market selling online courses. If you want to go into an established company, it's about you picking the right company to work for where you have the most long-term gain. Because if you see it, you believe it, you know it, you show it, you get it.
is just to inspire you all. Because just starting a business is fine, but learning the ropes by going with established businesses is going to teach you more and more. And the thing that I want to inspire you guys with is don't stop and don't take as much as you're getting for as much as you want. You can always get more. You can always make more. Hey, listen, if you end up being a growth specialist, they give you CEO function, right? I know somebody here that got an opportunity like that in Germany. Jeff, I'm not sure if you got hired, by the way, but hopefully, knock on wood. There's somebody that wants to build a business. He has established businesses, and he knows somebody like Jeff is very valuable, right? Jeff knows his values. He comes in leveraging that. He has a lot of experience from back in the day. So that company owner, because he shows loyalty, will do everything in his power to give him that role of a CEO at some point. Value, value, value. What kind of client are you currently working for? What kind of client would you like to work for? Who is your ideal client? Where can you add more value? Florian every single day told me when I first got his coaching, I want to work for Samuel and Noah. There's a guy, he's doing $1 million a month. But it's almost impossible to get in there because the guy is making $1 million a month. Now, I got an opportunity open. And who's the first person that jumped on it? Him. And he's worked all his way to be this top 1% closer, to be this manager. Florian knows I have this value that I can give him, and I want to even grow in that company to something much further. He might even start making 30 to 40,000 once he's hired and working there, because he had a clear goal of what he wanted. And if you have that purpose in your mind, you know how to leverage it and you know how to get there. We are not teaching you sales. We are teaching you fundamental things that you need to start your own multi-million-dollar business. It starts with sales. It starts with communicating. But communicating is so deep, it will give you everything in your life you want. Everybody understood? Let's say you want to start a business now. You can. Nothing wrong with starting a business. I know there's a couple of people here that have a lot of experience and do that type of stuff. Did you reflect? Did you see where the company that you worked for originally, maybe as a recruiter, had a lot of flaws? What kind of flaws were they? How can you solve it? How can you do it better? What are you lacking yourself? What are your values? I know I'm good at this. I'm doing good at this. I'm doing good at this, but I fucking suck at this shit. All right, what can I do in order to leverage those things that I'm good at and find people alongside of me with the things that I'm not good at? What do I need in order to start a multi-million-dollar version monthly for this thing? How can I find people under me to do the types of things that I'm missing, right? And you can only know and understand these things if you've reflected enough to understand what it is that you lack in order to go to the next level. I'm talking constantly with people that do millions and millions plus per month in my own niche. I analyze them, their company, see what kind of processes they do better than I do, because I want to use those processes in my own company in order to improve. Makes sense, right? Constantly, I'm researching. I'm looking at how to do the marketing. I'm looking at how to do the YouTube. I'm looking at every single little thing that I can find, because when I do, I can start implementing that for myself. And that is on a business level. With sales or triaging, I'm simply looking at how can I be a better triager? What are the people that are triaging that are doing it better than me currently doing? What can I learn? How can I implement it for myself? As an appointment setter, I'm going to go to the biggest appointment center. I'm going to see what they're doing differently. I'm going to watch videos about that. I'm going to reflect. I'm going to see what I'm going to do better there. When I'm a closer, I'm going to look at the best closers. What are they doing? How are they doing it? Someone that's better than you is not a god. The number one mistake that people make is they see something or someone that is better than them and they see it as unreachable. And when I see something as unreachable, you know what's going to happen, right? I don't think I can achieve it. But you should be fucking delusional, because that person that is making that type of money was as delusional as you should be in order to get there. That person that's making $1 million a month isn't that much smarter than you are. He or she just knows a couple of things that you don't know currently. And all you got to do is analyze. So if you could go to somebody that has a multi-million-dollar business monthly, right? If you could analyze those processes and analyze the way that they're doing things, and you could only get 10% of what they're doing right, you'd still be making 100K a month. That's why I started my podcast back in the day. I started my podcast simply because I could interview multimillionaires and just check what are they doing differently than I do. And I soon came to the realization that they're fucking retarded. These people, I'm talking to them. I'm like, yo, you're fucking dumb. How do you have 6 extra zeros in your bank account? So I started talking more and I started to realize that maybe on some aspects of their life, they're doing a lot of things different. They're just thinking differently. They are seeing every opportunity as something that is achievable, whilst I didn't know those things were achievable. I thought they were the shit. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch that. I will never achieve that. But the second I left those limits out of my mind, I actually started going to a place where I could achieve it time and time and time again. Your journey has started. You're at a place where maybe right now there's not a couple $1 million in your bank account. But by talking to somebody that is a multimillionaire, that is coaching you, by using his brain, my course, by watching the videos, by talking with each other, by believing in each other, by always pushing each other, you will go to places that you've never imagined before. It's all about analyzing, researching, reflecting, and going. If you don't keep on going, if you don't go to those places where other people are afraid to go to, you will fail. If you don't take risks, you will fail. Why do I know this? I've analyzed successful people. Do you know what successful people do? Exactly that. I've noticed the pattern. All the loser friends that I used to have from back in the day, they didn't take risks. They would have rather stayed home, got a safe salary, and called it a day. All of the people that are rich, heck, Mark Cuban, multi-billionaire. Somebody asked him, if you had $500 in your bank account and a phone, and you had to start all over again, what would be the first thing that you'd do? What do you guys think he said? Type it in the chat. I am actually wondering what you guys think he said. If you had $500 in your bank account and just a phone, what would you do? Salex, work in the sales, learn a skill. All right. Mark Cuban said, I would go to the best possible sales company I could find, selling a high ticket product. I would go there and get a high possible commission. I would prove that I'm the best there. And after I'm the best there, I would say, I'm either going to leave or you're going to give me this amount of money. And if you don't, I'm going to start my own company selling the exact same thing that you do and drive you out of business. That only shows how powerful the skill is that you guys have chosen to start with. That only shows because sales is literally a way to make money appear from nothing. If, God forbid, society breaks down, nothing else is left. It's only you, some water, and some abandoned grocery stores. You could still sell the bread to the people that need it. If COVID 2.0 happens, everybody's stuck at their house. You could look for the things that people need and start selling it. Heck, look for ways to sell masks to people that need it. Selling, money, important. Surprise. This is the most powerful skill you have. And the more you start to realize what this powerful skill entails, the more you start to realize how much you can do with it. Sales gives you money, money gives you power, power gives you companies, companies gives you more money, and more money means freedom. More freedom, more money, more power, more companies, more people to help, more things to achieve, more things to get. How do you leverage what you have? How do you start from nothing? You want to invest your money? All right, go. Oh, wait, you don't have money. Sales, there you go. Make your money. Start investing the money that you have as an access. Go for it. You want to start your company? Cool, where's your money then? Invest in your company, right? Oh, you don't have it. Start with sales. You could easily, within now and 3 months, people have done it in one, make 10K with sales. Literally. If you know how to add value to a company and sell their products, you can make 10K right now, right here. If you can find a product that you can sell for $1,000, sell 10 a month, boom, 10K. It is not that complicated. If you see a company that you can help out and you know that company is going to do well at one point, it's an investment. One of my, not my students, one of the people that I met here, he started to work with Samuel, the guy that's doing 1 million a month now. And it was when he was barely doing 10K. But he saw the vision, saw everything that he did. He knew that company would grow. He knew he would be an asset if he started with him then. In the first 2 months, he barely made 1,000. Now he's making a consistent $30,000 a month. In a span of 4 to 5 months. Do you know why? Because he saw the potential. He saw the long-term game was there. He knew what steps he had to take. 30 grand is a lot of money. And you can make it if you know where to add value. You know what to do when you're very valuable yourself. This is how Flo is making 15 now. This is how an Andy has a multi-million-dollar business. This is how Ola has a multi-dollar business. Menno has a multi-million-dollar business. All of these people start because they leverage the one thing that's the most important, which is sales. I'm not saying this to coach you. I'm saying this to inspire you. I'm saying this so that you open up your eyes to see a completely different perspective of what you've ever seen before, because you are limiting yourself. What is it that you want? Freedom, in my case. I want to be able to take care of my family, take care of my little brother. So what do I need? All right, I've achieved that. What is my next step? Who can help me with that? What kind of company can I go support? Where can I learn the most? A lot of people think, oh shit, man, I'm just going to go at a company and just work and maybe make 5K. But no, man, you got to make a plan. If you're not planning, you're planning to fail. Benjamin Franklin. Not that any of us here are from the US, but you know, it's a fun quote. All right. Any questions?
I think I do have a question. You
Sure.
said you have to start working for established companies, right?
Correct.
How do you qualify a established company?
Module 5. And like there's a whole module that is about that.
Yeah.
A whole module that helps you research. I need 4 hours to explain that, but I've made a course, luckily, to explain you that.
Yeah.
Simply said, proper research, knowing where to look, knowing what an established company is, trying to figure that out based off their marketing, based off of feeling too. It's not everything is very straightforward, but you could easily figure that stuff out. If somebody has a great brand, let me put it this way. When you go to venture capitalists, they don't listen to the ideas, they listen to the people. So what is a person that you're seeing on the internet, or maybe even know yourself, where you're like, I have a feeling this guy is going to go places. I have a feeling this guy is going places. Just the very most easy possible way of me trying to tell it to you is that if you have a good feeling with something, then you know. Dion, you're a magnanimous student, so there's one big opportunity coming on. I've told you this, and this guy is one of my friends, and if I had to bet my money on any of my friends becoming a billionaire quite soon, it's going to be probably him. So yeah, you're quite safe with that. If I had to put my money on somebody that I know is very good, I would probably say Samuel is a good one too. But that's what I'm saying. Go online, go look for people, go see and become fans of them. How can I be a part of their company? How can I show that I'm valuable? What is something that they need? What can I follow up? Where can I be of more value? What can I do? How can I be a part of a journey, or how can I join a journey that has already been on the ropes for a long time? Any more questions? Anyone else?
I have a question.
Tell me, Jeff.
What were your first steps when starting high ticket sales? Your personal, like a little personal story from you.
So high ticket sales from back in the day when I was doing this didn't exist, right? I kind of put it on the map for how long ago it started. For me, everything that I'm telling you now is based off of the experience that I've gained in the past couple of years. So if I knew what I'm telling you right now from back in the day, I would have been way richer, way faster, way earlier. In my case, I had to figure this out. So I, instead of like joining the companies, tried to befriend the millionaires to try to pick their brain to see where everything was going until I could leverage everything that I've learned from all of these people to do it for myself. Very easily said. The only reason I started the course was because all that I knew was building sales companies, and I wanted to recruit people to give out to do sales for. But eventually, my friends were course sellers, so I made a course, and that course did quite well, so I just leveraged that. Very simply put, right? It all happened accidentally, and the accident paid out quite well. But if I had to start over with all my knowledge, very simply put, I would do this exact model that I just showed you. I would go to any company. I already have sales experience. I would say, hey, I don't care how much percentage you give me. Let me show myself to you. Oh, you don't have any leads? I would go to any company in the world where I know that they are very well established. I'd use my research to do that. I'd say, hey, what's up? Give me your worst leads. Let me show you that I'm the best person you'll ever see. You don't have to pay me immediately. I'm not asking you to pay me immediately. Let me show you. I would make them 100K. Based off of that, I would tell them, all right, buddy, listen up. I am most probably the best closer you've ever seen. So let's talk. Then they will probably give me a better function. They would probably give me a base salary. I would use that, leverage that, go beyond, and then probably start building my business with the money that I made. There's a reason I'm building this whole architecture. It's called the Ascension architecture for a reason. You always have to either get leverage or use leverage. You get leverage by learning this skill and adapting to it and putting yourself in places where you can develop the skill so that you can start something for yourself. Going cold turkey into something is going to make you fail miserably because you don't have that experience. For instance, a lot of people try drop shipping, right? And 90% of people that try drop shipping fail miserably because now suddenly to do drop shipping, to build a business, you need to do 20 things at the same time that you don't know how work. How the fuck does marketing work? How the fuck does sales work? Where do I find products? How do I get a team? How do I know what people are good to have in a team? What kind of people do I hire? Well, how do I become a good leader? All right, that's very complicated and people fail. Now, imagine that you do it this way. All right, let me do the sales because sales is the most valuable skill in the world and everybody needs sales. Everybody needs money. I am not good at sales, so I'm going to just try to do the hardest type so I either get experience and start to learn how to do things. Based off of that, I'm getting good, so I'm making money in the company and now I'll become a valuable asset. So I want to even show more value. I want to get higher up, get more percentage. I want to use that knowledge and go even beyond. I mean, Hermes, right? Hermes, the clothing company. In 1843, it was founded, or 38, excuse me. And before he even started that company, 16 years he was making saddles before he started selling it to the elite in France. Because then he only had leverage. He perfected his craft. He started analyzing and looking at better craftsmen before he could even sell it himself. If you have that experience, though, it's a lot easier to do things, right? And we really underestimate the experience that we have. This is why in the first 2 modules, you first have to write down what your values are, what kind of values you can leverage before you go anywhere. And if you do understand what your values are and how they can be connected to these companies, every single person will hire you. But if you don't know your values, then you won't get hired. If you don't have any values, then you at least know that you don't have values. You start developing values and you fucking go beyond. Easy, right?
Easy.
All right. Questions? Stein. You're muted. I cannot hear you.
I'm still at school and
Oh,
for, you can't hear? Oh,
okay, now I hear you. All
I'm
right.
still at
Talk
school.
to me.
Okay, I'm still at school, so and I can't like drop out or something. So how do you want me to go to a call center or something?
All right. So your question is, I'm still in school. How the fuck am I supposed to sell? Right?
Yes.
Let me share my screen again. I'm glad you actually asked me that question, by the way. All right. Let's go back to a 9 to 5 job, being gay, right? If you're gay, you don't have freedom. You're limited by time. Every day is the same. You don't have any challenges. And as everybody says it, it's safe. But here's the thing about that, right? You will never go beyond than making 2 to 3K a month. If you study well, you go to the right place. The good thing about setting, triaging, and cold calling is the following. You follow up cold leads. Stan, do you know what a cold lead is?
Yeah, yeah. So
All
you
right.
don't get an answer back.
All right, let me big company, right? Big company.
Yes.
Big company lead. Do you know what a lead is?
Yes.
All right. A lead is somebody that shows interest to your company. So your lead eventually wants to buy your product. Let me just do this. He wants to buy the product. And if he buys the products, he comes back to the company, right? Now,
Yes.
the company pays money to get a lead. Make sense? So if you don't
Yes.
have any experience, it's kind of hard to, close the deal for somebody that paid money. Now, the big and easy thing of this is you. Let me go and get one more. So this is you, right? You will go to the lead. Oh, gosh, I suck at this shit. All right, there you go. You go to the lead, and then the lead goes to the company. But the other way around, if I just had to copy it and then put it here. So now the lead, how do I do this? The lead goes to the company gives you the lead, and you close them for the product. That is not how you do it. All right, try to make this as easy as possible. Because the lead goes to the company first because they use marketing and they pay for it. You have an easy close to close them for. But for this one, it doesn't cost them any money. So easily put, if you close stuff for people and it doesn't cost them money, they will always say yes. Now, the good thing about triaging, for instance, these are people that have just filled in their phone number, they're cheap leads, whatever, is you don't need any experience to close them. Because what you do is you just set an appointment for a high-level closer that is already making 10K a month to close them for. Do they care what times you close? No. As a high-ticket closer, do they care what times you close? No, they don't. Do you know what they do care about? Money. Think about it. Does my client care that I'm making money at 1 a.m.? No, he doesn't. You know what he does care about? To see 10K drop in his bank account. So if you're in school, this is perfect. Because like Andy did, let me just go to Andy for a second. He was working 4 jobs. He was working from 5 a.m. as a personal trainer. Then he was doing this stuff. I don't know what you call it in English. Then at night, he would still do some extra catching up jobs with cooking or being a chef cook. And then at night, he would have from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. where he would call leads to close for. And in those 3 hours, he made 3K in his half month, the first 15 days of closing. Instead of complaining about, I don't have time, stop wasting your fucking time by watching Netflix. Stop wasting your time with doing all of those things by scrolling on your phone and watching TikToks. Use all of that time to really find a client, develop the skill, start doing cold outreach. I want to get hired as an appointment setter. Well, what doesn't cost them money? You jumping up on their account and going to Facebook groups, finding leads that people are interested, going to on their Instagram and trying to message everybody that follows Iman Gadzi, right? If you're smart, you find ways to make money for a company without it costing them money in your free time. But you got to understand this, right? Even though if you go to school, even though you have a job, you have so much more time left than you think you have. You're just wasting a lot of it. So find ways to not waste time and use every single minute possible to start making money off of that. Answer question? Said yes.
Yes, thank you.
Are you sure? Do you have another question?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I actually do have one question because you're talking about cold leads, right?
Yeah.
Like with cold leads, do you mean like literally there was just a contact or they filled out a form, or is it don't they know about the product or company that you're selling for?
Cold leads, generally speaking, in this market, are leads that fill in a contact. But even if you could go to a company and make them actual cold leads, then they even highly appreciate you more. But usually when you go to an established company, cold leads are no-shows, follow-ups, people that were in the funnel, have showed interest but got lost somewhere. All right? In your case, these leads are not cold because you've actually done cold leads, right?
Yeah,
but
that's why I was asking, because like in recruitment, like it's basically like you call somebody that you don't know, that don't know you, the company, nor, well, it's cold, you know. So
it's the best learning curve too. So you've done the hardest task. So you, for instance, you wouldn't have to start here. You could already start with high ticket sales because A, you have my course, and B, you already have all of this experience of doing leads, doing closing. So you already have the leverage. You remember what I just said? It's about value and leveraging that value. Your value is that you already have a lot of sales experience. You were really good at that. So you can show for that. Like, listen, I was really good at this stuff. Let me show you that I can close this too. Like, these are warm leads. I've always closed cold leads, so this shouldn't be hard. And then you just have to find out what the next benefits are of the next product. I'm telling you, every single person has a different place where they want to start. Some people already do high ticket sales, so they have to become a top 1% closer. Right? It's about what part of the pyramid you are of the ascension architecture in order to leverage that and go to the next level. For you, it will be so much easier to get to a place of starting a business because there are less steps in there. But for somebody like Stein that doesn't have any experience, is still in school, yeah, of course, you got to start here.
Yep.
And it's not like you can start here, but the likelihood of getting hired for a spot like that is just way lower. Any other questions? I mean, you have a moment with me now, so you better start asking a question. I'm going to be really honest.
Another question.
Sure.
Why is it that you have a whole Dutch empire? That's like the one thing that's keeping in my mind
80%,
from day one.
70% to 80% of people are Dutch. Is because my brand from back in the day was Dutch. I am Dutch. I was the first person in the Netherlands to do this high ticket sales in the Netherlands before it even existed, I think, internationally. So I didn't speak English back in the day as good as I do now. So I didn't start doing it in English, but since last year I have started doing it in English, and that's why it is. I mean, you got to leverage what you have, right?
Got
Same
it.
thing. I didn't have the leverage back in the day to do it internationally. Now I have the English and I have the leverage, so I can use it to do it internationally. But how much? Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So they're like 13 people here and 5 people are not Dutch. I mean, %60.
Yeah, I want to do the same in Germany then.
I mean, there's a possibility of doing that. But like once again, Jeff, you got to start at the lower tier and start to figure out how to do it, and then do it step by step to get to the highest place. You can.
Got it.
It's not like it's impossible, but step by step.
I don't want to be gay anymore, man.
Nice. All right. Any other questions?
Maybe can I ask one? From the
Sure.
step you're taking from setter to closer.
Yeah.
When do you know you're a good good setter before you make the step to a closer?
Everything is a feeling. If you feel like you're ready to take down the next step, you're ready.
But what do you feel then?
Every set that you take is easily set. You feel like you want to close. You feel like you're ready for it. You feel like you have authority. You know that you confidently can hop on a call. And even maybe you're not, maybe you should just take the leap because you feel like, okay, I want to step it up. When you really want to step it up and you feel like you've learned enough, you can go for it.
Yeah.
But closing a setting is a leap, Delana. Like getting somebody to say, sure, I'll come to an appointment compared to, sure, I'll pay you $10,000 is a big difference.
Yeah. All right.
But
Thanks.
in front of them, you're doing the same thing. You still have to be like the same confidence you have of getting somebody to go on that call to pay 10K is the same type of confidence that you use to get them, on an appointment. It's the same thing. But you need to have the confidence. If you don't have confidence, you don't sell. I could easily hop on a phone and close $100,000 deal or a couple $1 million deal because I have the confidence to do so. I'm not afraid. And there's absolutely zero difference between the two. It's still a person, still saying stuff to the person. You're still trying to convince them to do something that they originally wouldn't want to do. Same thing. But you just got to know the market, know the differences, know the benefits. And if you do, you can close it. But it's just a lot easier to get somebody to say yes to an appointment, which gives you a lot of yeses and got a lot of reflection on doing it better. It doesn't cost any money. And you've gained so much experience from that you can hop on the next level.
And how long did it take you?
I started doing cold sales. So I was already selling stuff for like $30, whatever, but cold on the street, trying to entertain people as much as I could. So for me, the step up wasn't that much of a big difference. Although I got to admit, the first call that I did for $1,000 was very scary. But after that person said yes, and I was like, wait, you serious? You want to buy it? Okay, cool. I was like, okay, cool. Let me try 2. Okay, let me try 4. Maybe 5. And then, over the course of days, you start to get better and better and better. Like the first time was very hard for me to ask somebody 5,000 if like I didn't know, like I didn't have 5,000 in my own pocket, right? Like I'm like scary, and like every single thing changes. When I was like going to hypotheekadviseurs, mortgage brokers, I had to ask him $10,000, and I'm like, I don't even fucking well, our company's not making that much money. Like, what am I supposed to do? But I kept on trying. I went to 36 doors until somebody did, and eventually we got 8K out of that, right? Monthly recurring, just based off of that. And 36 times I went across the Netherlands with my car to get somebody to say yes to it, and at some point they did.
Wow, never give up.
That is most definitely true. I mean, giving up doesn't exist in my vocabulary. Like it's just a lot of pain until it works out.
Did you have that mindset from like you was a child?
I didn't have a choice, Delano. I quit my job. I told everybody that I could do it better than they could, which was dumb. Like I wouldn't recommend anybody to do that. I was there, started my agency, sucked miserably, and I'm like, okay, shit. I don't want to go back. I literally told everybody off. I give them a middle finger, and I walked out of there, threw my sheets in the air. I'm like, fuck all of you guys. So I was like, okay, cool. I kind of did fuck that up. So, let me just cold call everything.
Yeah.
I literally didn't have it. Like I burned my ship so hard that I was just like, all right, like someday somebody I've like, and I kept on researching, kept on analyzing, kept on thinking, okay, I fucked that up, I fucked this up. What can I do in order to get the next one better? What can I do to get the next one better? What can I do to get the next one better? And like every single time you get one step closer until one moment somebody sends you 8,000 euros all on your bank account. And you're like, oh, interesting.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you.
No
I
worries.
actually do have one more question, Ravi.
Me
Like,
too.
Dion, you can ask me 6 questions. Let's start with Selena first.
I have a question. When did you start connecting with these millionaires, billionaires for your podcast, and how did you approach this situation?
Cold calling. Hey man, I got a podcast. Would you be interested to just hop on a pod? No. Okay, it's fine. It's okay. Hey man, would you be interested? No. I just DM'd everyone that I possibly could, and some said yes. I'm like, oh, cool. Let me just try it. And like, what's the worst that can happen? they said no. All right, fuck it, and just go to the next. I've been grown up in cold outreach. Like I was on the streets, literally on the street with newspaper in my hand, smacking people on the head with it at some point because I got so confident with it. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm used to people telling me off and saying no. So what do I have to lose with this? They're also humans. They probably want to talk to somebody that's kind of funny, not really funny, but kind of funny. So I tried, and guess what? They thought I was kind of funny, and that worked in my favor. I feel like if you understand human psychology to an extent, then you get everybody to say yes. Like I understood that these people didn't have a lot of people to talk to in general, and it's quite lonely at the top, right? So I'm just a very curious person. So like I would perfect my pitch after 20 tries to get somebody to say, yo man, I'm actually really interested in your life story. I'm seeing this. You have achieved things that I've never achieved in my life. Can I literally just sit on the podcast, pick your brain for an hour to realize what you've been doing differently than I have? And like, heck, if I can pay for it, I'll pay for it, but I don't have any money. But I'd love to just sit with you for an hour. I don't want anything. I don't want you to offer me a job. I don't want money. Just sit with me for 1 hour. And I'll bring my equipment. And I didn't have enough money to like properly buy equipment. I had like one random mic of like $50 and another mic of $50. I had like one camera angle that always was dirty. You couldn't quite see it. And like that's how I started up. And then people really, really, really like my podcast in the Netherlands too, because I was just a curious kid trying to figure out shit for my own company. And even if you go back now, I don't think I have all the episodes left. I think I still have the bigger ones. It's just, you can literally see that I'm just curious to understand what they're doing differently. And because that was so interesting for a lot of people to see those millionaires talk about that stuff. Everybody else also was really curious, like, holy shit, so that's how they do it, right? And everybody learned from my podcast. The reason why I'm this successful is because I had this conversation with these people. Not only that, I hung around with them for a full day because they like me. And that's so weird because now you're in the aura of somebody that's way beyond you. You can actually feel a difference in vibration. And you're like, I get this. I need to get there, right? And because you're in that environment, you immediately start to go up yourself too. You notice the difference immediately. Even you guys, you group of guys, like you guys are aligned. You guys are already beyond it. If you go to anybody else that is not in a course like this, they probably think you're weird or stupid or whatever. But if you start connecting with these people, you're like, oh, I'm so elevated. I need to become friends. Like you start having only positive talks, and before you know it, multi-million-dollar business. Question answered, or you have another one?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Dion.
Thanks.
I know you're ready. 6 questions.
Well,
Let's go.
no, actually, I have another question that popped up. But why are there only 2 episodes in your podcast? Like, I can only see 35 and 36 or so.
No, if you go to Be Free Podcast, let me share my screen for a second. I can show you. They're unfortunately Dutch for the people. I'm sorry. Like, if you go to Be Free Podcast, go to videos, you see these are the newer ones with like the students that we have. And then here, this is like an old one. This is the old one with Andy. This is one of my students that had like this is like a random millionaire that was like illegal in the country. This is a very interesting guy that was like the first podcast that I did with him. He is the creator of Baller. This is like a very controversial person in the Netherlands that I have podcasts with. And these are just a couple of podcasts that I just randomly had, and I just watched them.
But are they not on Spotify? Because I think I tried to search for them. No, okay.
Spotify randomly kicked out a lot of my podcasts. I don't know why, but here you can at least have 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's really interesting. As you can see, like Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
just look. Wait, like this was one of my first podcasts. You can even see like 2 different cracky microphones. My laptop is there. I had a random bell there. Like how long? It's 3 years ago, but I feel like it's a bit older too. It's crazy how fast things can go, man. Bald Rabin, weird thing on a random couch somewhere, compared to like even the last podcast, right, that we had was, yeah, these were also quite nice. But like this is already like the level of difference where we get like an actual intro and stuff getting on. It's actually crazy, man. How stuff changed with like professional cameras and getting the things with like visuals. It's actually crazy. Anyway, so yeah, that. Be Free podcast. I feel like the podcasts that we have now are also really interesting. I uploaded 2, one with Florian, one with Nick, and these are like the older ones. I might actually just re upload them to the new channel. But these podcasts are like really nice too. This was also like just here, right? Just here, I felt like let me just interview one of these guys here, and these are all students that I just had. One of them, Andy. Really, check it out. Honestly, like these podcasts are also very interesting. This is just my friend who's also a multimillionaire, but like very interesting conversation. This is like the biggest South African sports brand, also very interesting. And I have a lot more very interesting podcasts lined up to do online with people that have built, like Alex Harmosi's sales funnel, of which I'm going to talk to him and just to pick his brain on what he does differently to get like a business that done $1 million a month. 2 with Robin Assad, actually, not 1. All right, Rami, what's up? You have a last question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So
By the way,
I have a
before you
question.
start, right? The last coaching call you did was last month, and after that, you quit your job. You got like a couple of sales. So this question better be good too.
Okay, I'm just gonna remove my earphones. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So since I knew Wasim Munzer from a really long time, he was in my school actually in Lebanon. So I'm curious to know, what do you think about the limiting beliefs and the growth related for someone staying in a certain country or in a certain environment? So right now, right this moment, if I leave Lebanon and go, let's say, to the Netherlands, and I can meet all of you guys and be with you for more time, how much would that affect my growth?
Well, I can never give you definites on this, but probably a lot. But let me put it differently, right? What if you just find more people in Lebanon that are just way more successful in doing things right? Issa, who's from Lebanon, he lives in Dubai. I mean, look at like what kind of life he's living and what kind of people he's meeting. So you can already see what kind of big difference it makes to hang out with the right people. Like for now, keep on Zoom, keep on here, talk to the people in the community, in the chat, try to find ways to connect more with them, because listen to podcasts on an occasional basis, because everybody that you hang around with, even those people on podcasts, become your friends. And that's the way you start thinking, because you keep on listening to that. Like when I was in your shoes, I was listening to a podcast every morning at 5 a.m. before I got to my work, which was a 2-hour drive. And at my work, I was still listening to a podcast. I was trying to get everything I could possibly do at any possible moment to get the right people in my ears, right? I was trying to connect with as much people as I could. That was why I started my own podcast, because I figured, like, listen, okay, now I hear these people, but what if I could find a way to talk to these people myself? Right? Go to Lebanon, go to like the richer neighbors, knock on fucking doors, say, Habibi, listen, what do you do differently than I do? I want to get caught like this. You know, just be creative. You don't have to go completely out of your way. You can, but I mean, you are working remotely and probably could. I would definitely say it's worth it and worth a shot. But step by step, word for word, everything is a step by step process, bro. Like get your business right now this month to 5K, and then reward yourself. See what kind of people are around that you can go hang around with. But don't
All right,
just go jump in cold turkey.
Yeah, that's correct.
And try to accidentally knock on those doors. Cover your journey. See what you do. All right, I'm seeing a lot of hands raised. I low-key wanted to cut off this meeting. I still haven't eaten, but all right, sure. Harrison, you first.
Hey, all right. I guess I have like two questions. Like one would be like, how would you advise approaching sort of qualifying a client without sort of price dropping per se, since that's kind of left for the closers. And secondly,
wait. One question at a time. All right. Try to condense your question into one sentence.
Okay. What advice would you give to qualify a client without, scaring them with price dropping?
If you're scared to drop your price, you don't know your values.
Well, okay, so
if they don't see the value, then they would be scared of something. For instance, very simple, like simple way of putting it, right? The reason why people pay 25K for a magnanimous is because they know it's worth it, right? They pay 25K because they know, all right, if I do this, it will get me to this place, so I'm paying it. When I'm in a call with them, I explain to them what it will help them out to be with, yada yada, and so they'll buy it. On our website, it's everywhere. They understand what it is. If you know that at some point you're gonna have your own business and start making X amount of money, everybody will do it. It just makes sense because we have all of these students and all of it. So the value is understood. But imagine that your product is $1,000, but somebody doesn't understand where the 1,000 goes or what the 1,000 has to offer. Of course, they will be scared if you say $1,000. Like, it makes sense. It's about you being able to show a person why that money is worth the value, and it's a no-brainer. Every single person that buys something like that is like, okay, shit, that makes sense. I know what it's going to do to me. I know what's it going to give me. I would be stupid not to buy it. Simple.
Okay. So essentially, like, as an appointment setter, like, if I'm just trying to scope, can you even afford, $1,000? Like, would you say it's fine to, like, you're like, how much are you earning? Like, can you afford 1,000, or should I just leave that for the closers? Like,
well, let's be smart here, right? So if you are triaging or appointment setting and you say, I would say, hey, bro, gotta be honest, like, I don't want to like waste the closer's time. Can you like afford $1,000? And then, yeah, because $1,000 isn't a lot, in my opinion. I wouldn't necessarily drop like a 30 or 50K program in the DMs because that would scare people away. But I would ask, hey, what do you do? Yeah, man, I work at a farm. Oh, is it your own farm? Is it a family business? Oh, dope. Right. And now you have like a big grasp of, okay, this is something that this person is doing. Maybe ask, hey, man, how are your money habits? Would you consider yourself, like, depending on what you sell, if you have a finance product, it's usually like, oh, shit, the room is ending in 13 seconds. All right. Well, that's it for now. I don't know. These things don't go. Guys, appreciate you guys. I'm sorry. Goodbye. I'll see you guys in the next meeting. I don't know why this is happening.